Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakha, Chodash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to sincere Ak. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, la b'chayar yom, shal yasha'ala, wa kal halayim la Yahweh b'Shem Yahushai b'Shem Chakodash. All praises to the Most High and His only begotten Son. And of course, I said peace to the election of the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the Hebrew Israelites. Wa double homage to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, who well, and peace and salutations to all sincere Achim, now of course lifting up the names of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in all true sincerity, working out their salvation with all fear and trembling. I'm the brother Mappa from Great Millstone, playing tables camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia, PA, by Babal in Babylon, which is America. And I'm coming through the Chakodash, the Holy Spirit, with this lesson, which we have here. Venezuela blames major power cut on U.S. Senator Marco Rubio. And it says here, Marco Rubio laughs off the claims and says he must have pressed the wrong thing on the electric attack app. And it says here that a major power cut plunged much of Venezuela, which is in South America, into darkness early on Friday morning, with President Maduro's government blaming sabotage orchestrated by U.S. Senator. It says 15 of the 23 states were affected, according to local media, and posts on Twitter. Was the capital Caracas, where there was confusion on the roads when traffic lights stopped working. It says dozens of commuters flooded into the streets when the subway stopped, and some had to walk several hours to get home. It says they've attacked the generation and transmission at the Guri hydroelectric dam, the backbone of the electric system, said Electricity Minister Luis Mata on state TV. You have here a wee bit of pictures of the place being without light, or having awarium, no lights. Alright, awar baha abarya in the Hebrew. Alright, the Hebrew word, for light is awar. Yum make it plural, so awar yum. Okay, so you have here, it says here in the caption, only a few lights remain in the bustling city of 2 million. You have here just the lights of, or awar, of the cars. All right, and it says many people having to walk these long distances. It says Communication Minister Jorge or George Rodriguez blamed extremists taking orders from Florida Senator Marco Rubio, which I'm not familiar with this particular senator. I'm not sure if he's an Edomite, which you have the wicked, which are the Edomites on earth. Alright, and we must of course stress that the Edomites are in control of the earth. The red Hebrew Edomites are in control of the earth, pursuant to the book of Ayawab, or Job 9 and 24, which it says here that in the scriptures it says the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not, who is he? Roughly paraphrasing. Alright, so you have here Marco Antonio Rubio is an American attorney and currently serving as a senator in the United States. Rubio previously served as a speaker of the House of Representatives in Florida. It says Rubio unsuccessfully sought the Republican nomination for presidency back in 2016. It says winner presidential, or that's basically it. All right, so you have it. I mean, he can be an Edomite, okay, because you have it where, there's Edomites, that the wicked have sown their seed amongst, of course, our people and such, due to obviously them raping our people, okay. So you have it here, he could be an Edomite, all right. And if he's not, he's a wicked, all right, Rashai, Israelite, simple as that, Yashala. Okay, so it says no proof was offered for the claims that Marco or Mr. Rubio mocked the claim on Twitter, saying he had pressed the wrong thing on the electric attack app I downloaded from Apple. It said a little bit of patience. The communication minister urged, if you're in your home, stay home. And it says if you're protected space at is work, you better for you to stay there. All right, and that basically is it. And they have, of course, the Twitter post, right? And it says some people have opened their window and banged pots and pans in darkness in a sign of frustration at President Maduro. It says power cuts are common in Venezuela, where many people blame the president for the country's crippling hyperinflation and the shortages of food and medicine. You have to, of course, know that these are all propaganda tactics and such, that is published in the media, of course, to perpetuate the plans of the Edomites, which they, of course, want to overthrow Maduro and place in Juan Guaido. All right, obviously, because Maduro is rebelling against what the so-called white man, who's Esau Edom, wants to do in Venezuela, which they want to basically take the resources in Venezuela, the oil, all right, natural resources, and of course profit off of it, placing major corporations to of course produce the oil to make different various forms of petrol items and such, just go into it, gasoline, etc. All right, it says Mr. Maduro still has some support. Venezuela remains in power for now. He's here until, of course, they take him out. It says critics say electricity network in the country has fallen into ruin because of years of underinvestment and mismanagement. They, of course, blaming that he's destroying Maduro, being the current president of Venezuela, being a leader whom is neglecting an infrastructure. But you have to understand the various sanctions that has been placed on the country and such, all right, which restricts them heavy, all right. So going on, it says here, opposition figure Juan Guaido used the opportunity to turn a shrew on President Maduro. It says who has been trying to force from power. All right, it's a power struggle as seen with these various protesters. He tweeted, how do you tell a mom who needs to cook, an ill person who depends on medicine, a worker who should be laboring, that we are in a powerful country without electricity? It says U.S. Secretary Mike Pompeo said the power cut was caused by Maduro's incompetence. So you have it here, Secretary Mike Pompeo. You got these politicians in Washington, all right, in Babylon. They, of course, are using all of these various tactics to, of course, push forward getting Maduro out there, all right? This is not a coincidence. It says the power outages and the devastation hurting ordinary Venezuelans not because of the USA. It's not because of Colombia. It's not because of Ecuador or Brazil or Europe or elsewhere. And this is what they're claiming, all right? They're claiming it's not because of the USA, but we know, of course, the wicked, is the one that's really ultimately at fault here. And this dude, of course, Yahweh Shem Yashai, letting the wicked do these different various tactics. It says power shortages, starvation are a result of Maduro's regime incompetence. Mr. Pompeo tweeted, there's been various videos that actually showing that Venezuela in certain places, is not as famished as what they, of course, perpetuate in the media. It says here Juan Guaido has large support in Venezuela and has been backed by most Western powers. This is a lie, all right, about Juan Guaido. Okay, a lot of people don't want, of course, Juan Guaido. The Venezuelan people don't want Juan Guaido. They, of course, want him to stay out of their affairs. Okay, it says, and he's backed by Western powers. The Western powers are talking about certain nations, part of, I believe, NATO and such, part of the beast and such. But it has so far been unable to get Maduro to stand down. All right, it says critically, the president still has support of the military. Some Venezuelans also back him, believing he is protecting the country from U.S. plot to gain influence, which they obviously do the U.S. Hegemony and such, their preeminence and power, supremacy, okay, in which they use to influence all these other nations, weaker nations, all right, and put them in subjection under them. Access to vast oil reserves, right? So, just going into it a bit. So let's get into these scriptures. This is going to be the book of Micah 2:1, and it reads here, woe meaning destruction, or Hawaya, alright, woe to them that devise iniquity, chashab, alright, or chashab, yeah, alright, and work evil, which is bad times, upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power of their hand, and it is literally in the power of the hand of the wicked, to do these things, to cut power off, to, of course, leave you famished, without food, without access, of course, to the bare necessities that you need to, of course, sustain yourself within, of course, life, or khaya, all right? It says here in the book of Psalms, this is Psalms 59:2. It says, deliver me from the workers of iniquity and save me from bloody men. All right, in which the workers of iniquity are the Edomites. All right, you have it where obviously they work nothing but evil upon their beds. All right, they have the power to, of course, they do a diligent search in all these various things in which they do to, of course, harm people. All right, you have a so-called, what they call the Illuminati. All right, these elites that, of course, put out these orders. All right, to carry these things out from whomever else, little subservient minions, cronies they have. All right, to do so. All right, workers of iniquity. These is talking about the Edomites. All right, and they got nothing but fucking blood on their hands and such. All right, they've they of course established the America. All right, by what? Blood. All right, and that's, of course, wickedness. All right, a town that is established by blood, that's in the scriptures. But going on, it says here, they covet fields and they take them by violence. And that's, of course, what America wants to do. They want to, of course, have a military coup. All right, they want to, of course, invade with the military. All right, Venezuela, overthrow Maduro and put in the puppet leader being Juan Guaido. All right, and it says, and they take them by violence, which that's going to be by violence, being using the sword, which Esau Edom is the sword. You read that in the scriptures. All right, read that. What's that in the book of Psalms? I believe you can read that. All right, Esau is the sword. It says, and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. They took, of course, the actual, the nationalities away, the knowledge of the nationalities from the Israelites. Okay, of course, gave them these different bywords in which we are, of course, labeled as Negroes, Spics, Wetbacks, Venezuelans, these various Brazilians, okay, Colombians. These are bywords and such. I believe that over there in Venezuela, they actually would be a part of the tribes of Ashar, or Asher in the Hebrew, or Ashar, which means happy, Baha Abaryath in the Hebrew. Okay, and when you go back to, of course, the 12 tribes chart, it says that is from Asher is from Colombia to Uruguay. All right, and of course, you can, of course, check out the rest of the other tribes and such. All right, But you have it where this damn devil is, of course, has the people duped and lost. All right, it's a covering cast over the people, and the Lord, of course, is going to take the oath. All right, it says, therefore, said Yahweh, which is the Most High name, which means He is or He exists. Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. All right, and the Lord obviously is not gonna have these damn Edomites escape from their judgment. All right, this is going to be the book of this is a book of, I'm going to start here at the book of Ecclesiasticus and Apocrypha, part original King James 1611 Bible, chapter 41 and 6. It says, the inheritance of sinners children shall perish, which you damn Edomites of today, all right, you are your forefathers, just so that you know. All right, and you could, of course, if you understand reincarnation, which is in the scripture, you're back in the flesh, you understand that. Okay, so it says, the inheritance of sinners children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. All right, because everybody knows it, that of course you stole all of these various lands. You stole America from, you have it, the Gadites, all right, North American Indians. God, you have it where you had what's that, Raban, all right, tribe of, what's that, Reuben, okay, so-called Seminole Indians and such, had land stolen. Issachar, land stolen, all right, and such. You damn devils got a lot to pay for. All right, that's why it's that shame and reproaches is being placed upon you. All right, you're being, of course, exposed to the new. Right, new. It says, woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High Power. For if you increase, it shall be to your destruction. You have it where the senator is doing what? Okay, if he's carrying out, all right, we're gonna press a button. We're gonna cut out the lights. All right, in Venezuela. All right, these things are only gonna be to your destruction, because first of all, you're not, of course, obeying the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. You shouldn't, of course, do no ill to your brother. All right, you shouldn't, of course, you're supposed to treat your others as yourself and such. These various law, statutes, commandments and such, and you're going against your own people. All right, when you go into it, if you have it where this particular senator is an actual Israelite, like he may be a Edomite, all right, out of Wam, all right, which is Marco Rubio. All right, that's whom I'm actually speaking of. All right, going further, it says here, the mourning of men is about their bodies, but an ill name for sinners shall be blotted out. It says, have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee about 1,000 great treasures of gold. It's good to, of course, have a good name. All right, as it says, a good life hath but a few days, but a good name endured forever. All right, that you carry yourself into the kingdom. All right, it says, I want to go to another scripture, which I believe I already got it. It was the point being here at verse 10, that all are of the earth and shall turn to the earth again. So the ungodly shall go from a curse to destruction. And that's what, of course, these damn devils are going to go to. They're going to go from, obviously, the curses, the destruction, with Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Well, the curses are bringing about destruction. But, they're going to receive these curses, which we, of course, have hit and have been going to. And, of course, then it's going to be a destruction, with being a nuclear fire, ultimately. All right? This place being cut out, and having no light is biblical prophecy. All right, this is gonna be here, the book of 2nd Esdras 15 and 11. It says here, I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says here, behold, my people are led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Matzarim or Egypt, being That's being America and such. All right. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues there as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And the Lord, of course, brought us here to America for slavery. Obviously, you had the Latin tribes were already here, all right, before, of course, they brought over the Southern Kingdom, all right. But you have it where Chris Columbus and these various we call it I would say pioneers, or you would say these pilgrims, whatever you want to call them, came over and conquered. All right, conquistadores, you could go into Slack. All right, came over and conquered us and such. All right, being Northern Kingdom, because we was already here. All right. It says here, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. That's through Yahushua using the UFOs and such, which he will come in clothes, right? He's going to deliver his election. That's the 144,000 men, and the rest of the 1/3, and a multitude, men, women, and children, which are believers, are the prophets, of the words of Yahweh Shemashai. All right, it says, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before. This is Egypt, because as you go into the book of Revelation, speaks of the dead body shall lie in the street of that city, which is spiritually Sodom in Egypt. All right, it's spiritually Sodom, obviously being all homosexual. Homosexuality is not frowned upon. It's actually legal to be a homosexual. You can get married, all right, which is wickedness in the Bible, because you shouldn't land with mankind. All right, man shouldn't land with mankind as with womankind. All right. It says, and I will destroy all the land thereof. It's Egypt, this place of our slavery. All right, we're spiritually enslaved at this time, mentally. All right. It says, and if you don't have this truth, you're dead. It says, Egypt shall mourn, the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues of and punishment, and the power Yahweh Shemashai shall bring upon it. All right. And some of the different plagues, when you go into it, the Lord plague Egypt with taking away, of course, you have lights, it was darkness and such, and you can refer back to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and such. All right, which you have it there where, let me see, I can read this one. It says, this is Wisdom of Solomon 17:5. It says, no power of fire or ash might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. All right, and these are where the plagues, of course, hit. Okay, you can go read that account. So the Lord, he's hitting this place with various forms, all right, of these plagues. And this is just a precursor of what's going to come soon. It's going to be cut off, and it's not going to come on anymore. There's EMP attacks and such. All right, that's coming, and that's written in the scriptures. This is Amos 5 and 18, and it says here, woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? It says the day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. Right? It's not, of course, light. All right, because you're gonna see the Lord's gonna cut this place out. All right, first of all, we are the light, being the men of the Lord. All right, we are lights. All right, our light being first, chiefly Yahweh Shai. He's the light, but we here are lights. We're supposed to let our light shine before men. The Lord's gonna withdraw us. He's gonna have us, of course, hidden, where you're not gonna obviously receive this light, which it allows you to come to life and see. All right, understand what's going on, because that's what we do as prophets. We're seers. All right, we of course let you see, or ra'ah, all right, what's to come, and we warn you. Okay, so reading again, woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. It says, to what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. Goes on, it says, verse 20, it says, shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it. All right, because the Lord's gonna cut this place. So all these different various places. Okay, Venezuela. Okay, that economic, that hyperinflation, all that's gonna come to America. All these different places of Earth. There's gonna be an RFID microchip that's gonna be implemented, mandatory. All right, if you want to, of course, be a functioning member in this society, and if you take it, you'll be destroyed. If you're an Israelite, okay. These are the things that's coming. So anyway, I'm just gonna close out. Venezuela blames a major power cut on U.S. Senator Marco Rubio. All right, they're calling names and such. Esau is being exposed for the wickedness he does. All right. Call Halayim La Yahweh Shem El Shai Bashem Chakodash and double honors to the elders and apostles, that great millstone that rule well. Shalom La Bachayar Yom Shal Yasha'Allah, to the election of the nation of Israel. Shalom.